Mike and Jake in the morning being brought to you by First State Chevy in Georgetown, located on Route 113. Give them a call, 302-856-2521. First State Chevy, where they put you, the customer first. Maryland 1st District Congressman Andy Harris joining us on the Newsmakers line. And Congressman, in Ocean City this morning, you have the GOP gubernatorial candidates that will be debating. And, of course, it's likely that the winner of that will be Larry Hogan, and it's likely he'll face Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown, whose only job, it seems, over the last 8 years was to oversee the Maryland Healthcare Exchange. That has been a total debacle. Where do things stand? Because I know that you went forward with or pushing for an investigation of what's going on, and the costs now we're hearing a range of maybe $300 million.
Well, the investigation is going on. We know that because we're in contact with the Inspector General's office. The state is cooperating with the investigation. We're just not sure whether any preliminary results are going to be available before the election. But again, if you believe the polls, it does look like Larry Hogan is leading on the Republican side and Lieutenant Governor Brown on the Democrat side. Interestingly, Lieutenant Governor Brown yesterday was quoted as saying that he doesn't believe that we'll have to raise taxes for a while. It's interesting that the discussion is not whether to lower tax or get rid of the rain tax or some of the other taxes, but how long it's going to take to raise taxes again in Maryland, which is why some people flee to Delaware.
Sure. Well, Congressman, the other day, Lieutenant Governor Brown was quoted as saying that if he had to have, that he wouldn't have signed the bill that Martin O'Malley signed that, I guess, raised the ceiling from $1 million to $5 million on the estate tax. So Lieutenant Governor Brown's even further left of O'Malley on taxes. That's scary.
Yeah, and especially on the estate tax. Again, you're just killing the goose laying your golden egg. Even the progressives, the liberals in Annapolis figured out that the estate tax is actually something that harms Maryland in the end. And again, even when you die, they get you in Maryland. And what can I say? I think that again, this is a pretty clear philosophical difference in this fall's election. Again, someone who just the only question of how long it's going to take to raise taxes, and someone like Mr. Hogan or Mr. Craig or the other candidates who say, look, we actually think Maryland should decrease its taxes to get our economy rolling again.
Congressman, when we take a look at the prisoner exchange, this infamous prisoner exchange, it has left, I think, most Americans shaking their head that either Washington doesn't get it or this president is not working for us. When you take a look at the whole situation in the abstract, do you think that this president is working against his own country, against the Constitution? And if so, is there enough courage in Washington to perhaps start really realistically talking about the word that nobody wants to seem to throw around, impeachment?
Look, I think this president and his administration has no idea what the military is all about, what it stands for, and what its importance is in keeping peace in the entire world. I think that the president and again the advice. And, it was interesting at some point. The news was, well, all his advisors supported it. Well, actually, he appoints all his advisors, so I'm not surprised they all supported it. The bottom line is this president doesn't understand how harmful it is to military morale to actually take someone who I think in the end the evidence is going to be pretty clear that Private Bergdahl at the time walked off the base and got captured. He walked, he was AWOL, at least AWOL, at worst deserting. And the bottom line is I think that people who are in the military and understand the discipline necessary in the military understand that there has to be a punishment for that. That can't be tolerated, much less celebrated as honor and distinction, which is what, of course, National Security Advisor Susan Rice called it on the Sunday talk show.
That's the video lady. Yes, I forgot about her. Congressman, do you expect the talk of impeachment to increase in the coming months?
I guess one thing that's happening right now that I think is going to increase the chatter about it is this huge influx of underage illegal immigrants across the southern border. That apparently is being abetted by the administration. And I think that people are going to be, look, we have compassion, but, I don't think most Americans want to throw the doors wide open. The estimate is that 250,000 underage, and again, these are children who don't have an adult with them. I mean, I don't understand what the administration plans to do with underage children who come to this country.
Turn them into Democrat voters. That's what they plan to do.
Well, I guess. I think they have to wait till they're 18.
That's exactly what they plan to do. Right.
But the cost is huge, and the social cost. I mean, taking in what effectively is you're encouraging orphans to come into this country. I just don't understand this. I don't understand why the president doesn't say quite clearly that it is illegal and send a clear message that hundreds of thousands of underage children will not be accepted into the country, and that we will enforce our borders.
Congressman, just two quick things, because I know we're getting up against it, but with the Bergdahl situation, the fact that the White House yesterday came out and said that ultimately Chuck Hagel made the decision. Wait a minute now. You're releasing 5 Taliban guys from Gitmo, and that was Chuck Hagel's ultimate decision? I mean, where does the buck stop with President Obama? I guess it doesn't stop at his desk anymore.
Apparently never stops at his desk.
No.
You know, it's always Secretary Sebelius or Chuck Hagel or the Secretary of State. It's always someone else's problem. But I didn't see Chuck Hagel at that White House lawn ceremony, over the weekend.
Yeah, right.
I saw the president taking full responsibility.
Yeah.
When he thought times were good, he was taking full responsibility.
Final thing, Congressman, and I read this early this morning on our First Lady Delmarva program. The National Journal's Ron Fournier, who's one of the D.C.'s best-connected reporters, as you may well know, said that some Democrats are apparently starting to worry about the overall tone set by the Obama White House. A Democratic consultant with strong White House ties said, well, I can't repeat the exact word, but said that the Democratic Party's basically screwed. A Democratic House member said he's bored and tired of being president, and our party is paying the price. A Democratic lobbyist and former member of Congress said, talented guy, but no leader. If he could govern half as well as he campaigns, he'd be a good to great president. And finally, a senior White House official said, we don't do the small stuff well, and the small stuff is the important stuff. Congressman, how scared are you about how radical this administration or President Obama himself could get over the next 3 years?
Look, there's no question it's a failing administration on many, many fronts, and we've talked about some of the evidence of it. The VA scandal, the Bergdahl situation, now the illegal immigrant children flooding across the border. I mean, the IRS. I mean, my gosh, it's one level of incompetence after another. And I will tell you that I'm concerned that if we don't take back the Senate, if the Republicans don't gain control of the Senate next year, so at least we can begin to construct a policy and try to drag the president along. We're in for 2 years that's tough. It'll be just increased lawlessness on the part of the executive branch.
Scary.
Well, Congressman Harris, we appreciate your time as always, and I tell you what, it's been great to have access to talking to you. I know you're no stranger to WGMD, and you do a great job representing the Eastern Shore of Maryland and our listening area, of course, the Lower Shore. So we appreciate your time. We certainly look forward to having you back on Mike and Jake in the morning.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you, Congressman.
Take care. 8:34 this morning. A little bit over, but Jake, well worth it. And, boy, Congressman Harris, I think represents the Eastern Shore as well as you could possibly ask.
I agree, Mike. And he said some compelling things, especially about this